Checking out the Joker MP1 podcast. Why I want to leave trucking. There's 10,000 drivers short in Canada. 90,000 drivers are short in the USA. Why? Why the shortages in this job? Is it so bad in the USA? President Joe Biden has to get involved by taking on new women for truck drivers. Joe Biden says there is not enough parking for the trucks. They spend 1.5 hours every day looking for parking. That's a real waste of time just to park your truck. Oh, I got to start looking for parking. So you might have 1.5 hours left to drive and you see one parking spot in a flying J. You better grab it. You go to the next parking lot, you might not get nothing. And you don't want to be sitting there sleeping on an off ramp. 1.5 hours wasted time looking for parking. Shippers are holding trucks for at least 1.5 days to load trailers. Joe Biden has touched on that. This is on Travel Waves with Grace Sharkey. Excellent show. I recommend people to go check it out. It's on Sirius XM. Something my co-driver is going to cancel, which is we can't hear it. We can't hear nothing. We get no signal. This is the tip of the iceberg, or tip of the spear. I myself been driving a truck for 22 years. Cost me my marriage. 10-year marriage, gone. Most women do not want to date a truck driver, and I don't blame them. I now work around 10 truck. I've worked for 10 truck companies, and a short time I've learned that in companies they have favorite drivers. I am not one of them, and I'm not treated like that. And most companies treat me like garbage. And other people there are like God's children, the favorite drivers. And this is what's going on. So I was the garbage man at most companies. I had good times. I love driving. Texas is my favorite place to drive. A big problem with companies, I have 101 ways. There's 101 ways to skim off of a driver. Believe me, I think I've gone through over 101. But 101 ways to skim off a driver, not paying for waiting time, hotels. One example, at the border, I was there for 1.5 days. Waiting time, I did not get paid. Only straight time for delivery. I put fuel in the truck. I did not get paid back. Putting a tire on a trailer, did not get paid back. Driving from Brampton to Vancouver, Ontario, Northern Ontario is only 2 lanes only. And this is where all the traffic or all the freight's flowing back and forth to Canada with 2 lanes only. And in bad weather in the winter, you're just constantly getting sprayed by trucks going the other way. It's just dirty. It's nasty. Every time a truck passes you, you're getting sprayed. And of course, I'm driving a truck, so I'm spraying them too. By oncoming traffic, you can't run the high beams too much because there's so much traffic on the road. I hit a roadkill moose in Northern Ontario, and there's hardly any parking for trucks, especially in Northern Ontario. And at a Canadian Tire and Walmart and Dryden, you cannot park at Canadian Tire. Walk across the street to Tim Hortons to get yourself a nice hot coffee before starting shift. You will have security there to throw you off, or they'll phone the police and give you a ticket. And Cochrane and Hearst, can't park at Canadian Tire. You will be ticketed. No trucks. There's very little truck parking. and the lots are very full at night, so you pretty much have to stop before 6 o'clock at night, or you might not. You can have a really hard time in Northern Ontario. There's just not enough parking there. Outside of Hearst, heading west a few kilometers, they made a spot to park 20 trucks. It should have been more like 200 trucks, and I think they should have put it in between Hearst and Long Lac in the 100-kilometer range, like a 200 truck parking spot, and people are parking in Long Lac, and I got people banging on my door, screaming at me, telling me to move. This is not a street. This is a street. This is not a parking lot. People have no problem. I'm banging on the truck, waking a driver up and telling him, you can't park here. This is private property, blah, blah, blah. You got to move. And, you're on the road for 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It's no life for most people. Definitely no life for me. Life is just going by. Working on the weekends, working on the holidays. At the Flying J, you can't use the washrooms because there's so many drivers on there. There's so many drivers in there washing your feet. You can't even use the washrooms no more when you need to take a dump. So you end up pooping beside your truck somewhere because you can't get into the washrooms because there's 2 guys in the washrooms washing their feet and there's another 8 guys in the lineup. And then we're talking like 2 o'clock in the morning. What you think, there'd be nobody out there. So, drivers have to dump outside their trucks because where is he going to go? Could be minus 53 degrees and you can't even get in a Flying J bathroom. These guys are washing their feet. 2 former bosses hooked me up with crazy women. One of them used to have a little garbage pail and dump in the truck. In Canada, the roads are very, very rough. I've been in a lot of car accidents. I have a bad neck. I have a bad back, and with the roads so rough, it's very painful for me. And my co-driver had neck operation, and he's finding it very rough because the roads are so rough in Canada. Here's a real big problem, and I'm waiting for our Mr. Prime Minister. At this time, right now, I'm doing this. It's called Mr. Justin Trudeau, President, El Presidente, our Prime Minister. The police are pulling me all over for no reason. Driving a truck, they just pull me over. I've been pulled over in Hearst, Ontario. They smelt no alcohol. They accused me of drinking, and they forced me to do a breathalyzer test. I was absolutely disgusted with it. I felt like just saying, you know what, you guys can drive the truck. I'm going home. I just said, hey, if I had money, I'd say I'm done. Here you guys go. You guys can finish off this run. So the OPP make me do a breathalyzer with no suspicion. In the USA, I crossed the border in Lewiston and Fort Erie, and they just start pulling me over for no reason and give me a stack of tickets. Absolutely, just because there's 10 American trucks ahead of me. They don't touch them. As soon as a Canadian truck comes there, they hit the red lights. They pull me over. I've been pulled over in Reno, Nevada, also. Driving, minding my own business. I drive, and I look, and the policeman is eyeballing me. And he lights him up and pulls me over and goes through my stuff. And that to me is just a real big, I'm trying to do a service. I'm trying to deliver food. I'm trying to deliver products. And I'm getting pulled over by the police and getting tickets. And it's one of my big things about why I want to leave truck driving. Other than having like no life, I am making a paycheck, but there's other ways of making a paycheck too. To having a job, and I would like to have a job where I'm working during the week and have the weekends off, and kind of live like a normal life. Anyway, Joker MP1, peace out.